Good morning, how are we all? Please ignore the state of the wig. I know it's not glued down very well. You can see everything, but I'm still learning. I'm still trying to learn how to install them, and it's a work in progress, and this one hasn't gone very well. So, yeah, but we move. So I don't know. I've been really like absent. I haven't really been keeping up with the podcasts that much recently. Just because I've been feeling a bit down and a little bit like I don't know if it was a good idea to start doing it. I don't know whether it's gonna be something that will actually help people. I don't know if people are actually listening to it and stuff, and I'm just having all these kind of like negative thoughts about everything and just feeling like I don't know whether it was a good thing to do, put myself out there like that and then not really get that much response. Obviously, you know, things take time and I understand that, but yeah, I just felt like I don't know, I don't really know where I'm going with it. So I'm just going to try and keep it up and see, you know, obviously if the channel was like helped anyone in any sort of way so far, then yeah. But obviously I wanted to kind of talk a little bit today about friendships and like relationships, and you know, obviously previously I was going a bit into like abuse and how you notice the signs and the experience that I went through with a partner before. But I just wanted to reach out and just let you know, like it's so important to have a good support system around you, and that's something that I don't have. Obviously, family is completely different. I have got loads of family. They're amazing. I have like a good support system in that way, but I'm talking about friendships, like zero. I don't have really hardly any friends, and that's hard to admit sometimes. And if you're in that situation as well, it's lonely, and it's hard, but it's just something like I've had to accept it, and I've like tried to think, oh, you know, like maybe like, you know, this person's my friend and we can like, you know, this could lead to a potential friendship. But it's just like I just don't feel like anyone really kind of like has ever really supported me in the way that I needed, or anyone's ever really known me for me, and has kind of like been there for me in the way that I've been there for them. And I feel like that's so important. Even when I was in hospital, you know, like I had my family mainly there. Like obviously friends were not really there. They were absent. I think I had one friend that obviously was there for me throughout the whole time. And that was, I still obviously, you know, think about things like that, and things like that stick with me, and I'm like, you know, like that person was there for me. But when it comes to like just checking in and making sure you're okay, like it's very minimal amounts of people do that. And I just think like I just can't be bothered. Like I really can't be bothered with people. And I'd love to have a large group of friends. I'd love to have a big friendship network, and you know, like go out and like see people. But it just, I don't know. Like sometimes I think, is it me? Like is it me? Am I the reason why I don't have a large amount of friends? But then I think like I haven't really ever, like from when I was in school. Obviously, like I had loads of friends in school. I was like kind of like, I'm not gonna say this in a big-headed way, but I was popular. I did have loads of friends, and I loved my friends in school. But then again, like none of them, have ever really checked in. You know, I left school, didn't really check in, didn't really like lost contact with people, and I just think it's really sad, like that people like just kind of sat there forget about you, you know. I don't really know where I'm going with this conversation today, but I just had like some things I wanted to get off my chest and just kind of talk to you guys. You know, if anyone else is feeling like lonely and feeling like they've got nobody really out there, you know, you're not alone. And it's totally like, I feel like there's probably tons of people, again, like I said before, that are in the same situation that don't really have a lot of friends. But my problem was, because obviously I was bodybuilding, I isolated myself, as I've spoken about in previous videos. I isolated myself to focus on what I wanted to achieve, and that meant losing a lot of people. which I should have stuck. Like, you know, I should have kept in close contact with people, because again, it's my fault, because I didn't want anybody kind of like distracting me from what I wanted to achieve, and I thought that was going to be the end goal, obviously achieving what I wanted to achieve in bodybuilding, and that meant that I had to lose people, and then just from then on, I've just kind of like been really introverted. You know, I don't really socialize that much, and I want to get out there. I want to meet people, and I want to talk to people, but it's just, you know, like, it's hard to trust people. It's people let you down. People have got, you know, motives. Like, no, some people's intentions aren't true, and sometimes I think I need to get out of that mindset, because that means I'm never going to meet people, because I'm always so cautious of who I let in and around me now, just because I've been let down by so many people. Like, obviously, when I was a raver and I was taking drugs, I reached a point where obviously I blacked out, and I had to stop taking drugs, and I had to distance myself from the group of people that I was going out with. Again, I'm very like, I distance myself from people because, one, either they're not good for me. Two, I sense the energy is just off, the vibe's off, and I just feel like I'm better alone than I am around people that don't really give a shit, and their intentions aren't true, and they're just not very nice people to be around. And yeah, like, it's sad, it's lonely, but, you know, I just want people to know that they're not alone in that situation. If you haven't got really having this problem again, if you haven't got that many people to talk to, and you haven't got that many friends, you know, there are people out there that are actually struggling and going through the same thing. Like, it gets me down sometimes. I think, like, why does nobody really give a shit? And no matter how many times you've been there for people, you've sat and listened to all their shit, been the good friend, and you still get shit thrown in your face. Like, it just makes no sense. And I think, like, at the same time, I think it's nice to have like a large group of friends, but then at the same time, it's like, are any of them really your mates? Like, you know, how many of them people can you really call your friends? How many people can you really trust out of this large group of people? I think, like, having, like, you know, the odd one or two friend is nice. But again, like, I think I've reached a point in my life, it gets me down, it makes me sad, but I think I've reached a point in my life where I just think, like, I don't really need anybody. I don't really need friends. I don't really need, you know, people to lean on when I'm going through a shit time, because 9 times out of 10 I'm going to go through it on my own anyway, and I'm not going to tell people. So I don't like venting and putting my shit onto other people when I'm going through a tough time. Obviously this is different. I'm just trying to talk and, you know, be there for people that obviously haven't got a big support network system, and if they listen to this, they can be like, oh yeah, that resonates, like, I'm the same. But yeah, it just is it's a difficult situation. Like, people come and go. I honestly, like, I don't know, like, sometimes I'm just like, I don't even know what to say about friends and stuff like that, because it's like, yeah, I just don't think there's anyone that's ever really kind of like stayed in my life, that's been in my life, that's really proven to me. And I've reached a point now where I'm like, my standards are high. Like, I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, my standards are so high. Like, if you're not like ticking all the right boxes in my life, then you can go, like, seriously. But yeah, just a quick one today, and hope you all have a lovely day and you're having a good week. And I really can't believe the state of this week. I've come on like this, but I will. And yeah, just stay positive and learn, and just remember to love yourself, put yourself first, and fuck everyone else, basically. But yeah, if anyone wants to chat or has any questions or comments, then obviously leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube, listen to it on Spotify, and yeah, hopefully see you in the next episode, if I can feel motivated to make another one. But yeah, take care, and I'll see you all soon. Mwah.